Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday, where we sip, talk, and tell our story, and you're able to listen. See you soon. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Victim Speaks. Yes, this is a show where you are able to tell your story, express yourself, whatever it is that you want to talk about. Come on this platform and speak about it. A lot of times we don't get to speak about our truths. We don't get to tell our story. A lot of times we're muted. A lot of times people tell us to get over it. People tell us it's been too long. You should still be talking about this type of thing. A lot of times it goes unnoticed, unheard, and forgotten about. So if you are a victim, don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to tell your story. It never gets old. You don't have to get over it. You can help someone else by telling your story. So chime in. Definition of victim: a person harmed, injured, or killed as a result of a crime, accident, or event or action. This is Victim Speak. How do victims react to their abusers? Many ways. Let's see. Alright, you guys, I will be playing some clips and I'll be giving my honest opinion about these different victims telling their stories, you guys. So stay tuned.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Telling your story can be really difficult in the first place. Even writing it down, acknowledging that you lost control, that somebody took advantage of you in a really personal and hurtful way can be hard to even admit to yourself. But in the days following my assault, I just couldn't keep it in any longer. I knew that something really, really wrong had happened to me and I needed to get it out. And so I told my mom, and then my mom told my counselor, and my counselor was mandated to report it to the police. And so in writing my memoir, I Have the Right To, I really wanted to show what was going on inside my mind, inside my brain as a sexual assault survivor. Too often people don't focus on the after effects of a sexual assault on the survivor and how much it really takes from a survivor to survive and then keep on living life and to keep on pursuing justice in the aftermath.
You wrote about this moment in the book immediately after your assault, and I wondered if you could kind of elaborate on it a little bit. You said some of the first couple of things you felt were shame and humiliation. Those were the first two things, or among the first two things. Why do you think that's what you felt?
Shame and guilt are really common responses to a sexual assault. I mean, I didn't want to admit to myself that I had lost control of my body, that I had froze. And after my assault, I was immediately greeted by friends from the stairwell when I was leaving the mechanical room, and that kind of shocked me into this mindset that I had to pretend everything was okay. It was graduation weekend for my older sister, and I didn't want to make a big deal about what had happened to me. I didn't want to make the weekend about me because it was a weekend about my sister and my family was there. And so I felt that I had to keep this to myself, and I felt that it was my fault.
You mentioned your mother was the first person you decided to say something to. We hear a lot about people's decisions of why they do and don't report similar kinds of situations. What was that decision-making process like for you? How did you weigh whether or not to say anything?
Well, at first I did tell a couple of close girlfriends in my dorm, and then I told I told the situation hypothetically to an advisor in my dorm when she heard me having a panic attack next door, and she was the one who told me that I should call my mother. I mean, my mom and dad had always been open with me and my younger sister and my older sister about anything, that we can come to them with anything, but we had never had a specific talk about consent or healthy relationships in that sense. And so I had a healthy and trusting relationship with my mom, and I was able to talk to her about it because of that.
As word spread that you had made this allegation, you went to a small school, right? It's fair to call it an elite institution up in New Hampshire. What was the reaction like among the rest of the school and the rest of the community?
I mean, immediately after the assault, when I told my close friends, they were all extremely concerned for my well-being. They noticed that something was wrong. But in the months after, when I went home for the summer and talked with the police, and the case kind of moved forward into something like a criminal case, something very serious, I think the community took a step back and wanted to support my perpetrator instead of me, because it's so much easier to believe that a young woman is capable of lying than it is to believe that a young man who is held at such a high standard is capable of something so horrific and disgusting.
What was that like for you to get that kind of reaction?
It was incredibly painful and hurtful and really confusing for me, because I constantly wondered, this is not right. I am a victim of a crime, and yet nobody seems to see it that way. I mean,
How do victims respond? Usually denial, disbelief, and anger. I know I was. How about you? For any little kids experiencing rape trauma, being victimized, please come on this platform. Please come speak. I encourage your mothers, your parents to please reach out to me. Go to Vibes, BYBEZ radio show at gmail.com and get your child heard, get your child justice. Don't let it go unheard. Don't be like me, who never even got a rape kit done and it got swept under the rug, and now you're just a hurt adult. Don't be like me. Get justice. You deserve it. Speak about it.
First, I'd like to say good morning, everybody, and give all the praise to God. I just thank God that I could stand here today and talk and say this. I was violated in June by a police officer. He stopped me on 50th and Lincoln for no reason whatsoever, pulled me over, and fondled me and did certain things to me. I was out there alone and helpless, didn't know what to do. And in my mind, all I could think that he was going to shoot me. He was going to kill me. He did things to me that I didn't think a police officer would do. He made me perform oral sodomy sex on him. I didn't know what to do. I was so afraid. I was afraid for my life. I kept begging him, "Sir, please don't make me do this. Don't make me do this, sir. Please. You're going to shoot me." He said, "I'm not going to shoot you." I said, "Yeah, you're going to shoot me." The only thing I could see was my life flash before my eyes and the gun in his holster on his right side. And as I tried to look up at his name, I was afraid to, because I said, if I know his name, I know he's going to kill me. So that I didn't do. So he did so many things to me, and I was so afraid, and I was out there, like I say, so helpless. God's will, he let me live. And he let me live to tell this story like a lot of victims are not able to do. And I thank God above for letting me do that. All I can say is I was a victim. I was traumatized. I went to therapy. I had a stroke behind this. And I still live with this day after day. And all I know is I wasn't a criminal. I have no record. I didn't do anything wrong. You said I did something wrong. You said I was swerving, which I was not. You just wanted to stop me. So all I could say is I was innocent, and he just picked the wrong lady to stop that night.
Yes.
Yeah, so this individual was assaulted by a police officer. Now, I see all too often that people are afraid to speak out about police officers or certain authority violating them. Don't be afraid. If they created themselves to be a monster, let people know about it. Speak loud, tell your story. Don't be afraid. Police officer, judge, lawyer, doctor, actor, singer, rapper, whatever. Don't be afraid to tell your story. All victims, not just rape victims, all victims speak. You have a voice, they gave you the story, you put it out there.
Thank you for watching.